Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back at Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Bears lead Tampa Bay 10-3 as we begin the third period of play. And Jerry Goldstein for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was just 3 of 9 for 62 yards in the first half. Last week, John McKay gave him the hook after the first half against Detroit and brought in Jack Thompson. Now, whether that's going to be the case for the second half, we'll find out momentarily. The Bears will be kicking off. There is a look at the throwing Samoan from Seattle, Washington, Jack Thompson. And in first downs, you can see the Bears with a commanding margin, 10-3, and 210 yards total. Of course, much of that on 73 from Walter Payton on the touchdown play.
Even though time of possession closed up a bit, it was the Bears' first half. They did better on offense and really had almost double the yardage at Tampa Bay, but the lead is not that big, and it's the same thing that happened to the Bears last week. They were ahead, but wound up losing the football game because Mike Ditka said they didn't play 60 minutes of football. So the second half is going to be key. There's a long time to go, and Tampa Bay's defense, despite being behind, has done a credible job.
Bob Thomas to kick it off, and the Tampa Bay deep men standing at the 1-yard line. Michael Morton, number 1, and James Owens, number 26. Bob Thomas not happy with the way that ball is teed up and takes a little extra time. And just a few moments ago here, you probably saw at halftime from New York the tribute to Buddy Young, the player relations director of the National Football League, who died last week, and he, being a Chicagoan who went to high school here, received a tribute here at halftime. And it is James Owens bringing the ball out for the Buccaneers and nearly breaking loose. He got out to the 29-yard line, and it'll be pretty good field position for the Bucs. Well, let's go back and see the big play of the first half. Number 34, who has 94 yards on 5 catches and 36 yards rushing on 9 carries, made the big one for Chicago.
It was the fake of the end around which froze the Tampa Bay defense, which went to the right, but no matter what happens, you can't let Walter Payton get down there all by himself. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him as he made the grab, and then it was individual effort, great straight arm, and he got himself into the end zone. Goldstein still at quarterback.
Goldstein on first down has a completed pass and a first down to Gerald Carter. Carter, who made the big play for the Bucs in the first half with a 51-yard reception, setting up the Bill Capice field goal. The 4-year man from Texas A&M, rookie Mike Richardson, make the tackle. So Jerry Goldstein gets a vote of confidence thus far from his coach John McKay and completes his first pass of the second half. Now, he is throwing into the wind here, starting this third period. And we'll see if the wind proves to be an advantage for either passer, as interestingly last week the wind was blowing in the opposite direction here at Soldier Field and completely turned around this week. That's the way winds work on Lake Michigan. Measurement here, I thought he had the first down yardage, Johnny. It's going to be close, about 4 inches, so we'll call it second and less than the length of a football.
We should mention that he's throwing against the wind, as he did mostly in the second quarter. He's doing that again in the third quarter.
4 of 10 now for Goldstein, and he dives for the first down to the 40-yard line of Tampa Bay. They trail by only a converted touchdown. Both teams looking for their first victories of the season. When we talked to Goldstein about the quarterback situation, he seemed fairly sanguine about the idea of 1 and 1A and thought that Coach McKay would stay with this so-called 2-quarterback situation as long as things went well for the team. He didn't see an immediate change or an immediate decision on the part of Coach McKay. Since McKay had indicated through the preseason he was unable to choose a number 1. Thompson, on the other hand, I think is expecting that there will be a decision one way or the other very soon, possibly by the end of this football game. Goldstein on the first down, has a completion to Jimmy Giles and a gain of about 9 yards to the 49-yard line. Fensick and Todd Bell, the safeties, make the tackle.
And they completed this pass in a lot of traffic. Giles has averaged 17 yards per catch against the Chicago Bears. I mean, he gets a deep threat for him. Singletary was to the inside, so he pushes off Singletary, comes back to the outside, obvious adjustment in the pattern, and Gary Fensick, number 45, comes up to make the tackle along with Todd Bell, 25.
Second and a yard to go, and it is a first down play for James Owens, who really dove in there, tripped up, by Singletary behind the line of scrimmage, but his momentum carrying him to the first down. So the Buccaneers are moving it out smartly here on their first offensive series of the second half.
And he did what Melvin Carver did not do last week that upset John McKay. He took a dive up and over and got the first down, and that's one reason that Carver is not playing all that much, because he didn't obey instructions last week.
I think we'll see more of Melvin Carver, though, in the Bucs' future. He's a good one from UNLV, Las Vegas. It is first down in the 49-yard line of the Bears. Quickly out to Kevin House. Stopped by Todd Bell as soon as he caught the ball. Another completion for Goldstein and a gain of about 6 yards.
And you can see what they're doing to House. They're covering him short and deep. That was the strong safety, Todd Bell, who came up to the short zone, and Richardson was playing off deep. So one thing they're not going to let Tampa Bay do is get Kevin House deep. That's one of their aims, because they feel that House is the man that can really hurt him.
Second down at the Bears' 44-yard line. 2nd and 5 for Tampa Bay. Into the slot goes Owens. 6 secondary men for Chicago, and Goldstein has a one-on-one intended for number 83, Theo Bell. On the coverage was Mike Richardson, and he had him covered all the way. A flag is down on the play.
He's going to call one or the other for offensive pass interference. They look like they're both kind of jostling, and whether he gives it to the offense or defense, we'll see. It's against Chicago, so they called it on Richardson, 27, who is the rookie out of Arizona State, who was beaten last week a couple of times.
Holding number 27. That's a first down.
They called it holding on Mike Richardson. Ben Greith, the referee. And it may have been that he just got a little grab on him as he made his cut. So it's a first down for Tampa Bay, and they're now at the 39-yard line of the Bears and marching. Wide to the left, Carter. The shift to the eye. Owens the deep back. Give it to Owens, and he is racked up by Mike Singletary. Singletary nailed him behind the line for a loss of a yard. You know, I asked Mike Singletary what would be the ideal game. If he could imagine in his mind, what would be his ideal game? He said, I'd like to make 20 tackles. He didn't hesitate telling me this either. I'd like to make 20 tackles. I'd like to make 3 interceptions. I'd like to recover 2 fumbles and take 1 for a touchdown.
Boy, he aims high, doesn't he?
And he said that would be about as ideal a game as I can imagine at linebacker. He may have one before his career is over, this young man. Baylor, number 2 pick in 81. 2nd and 11. Pass complete to Owens out of the backfield. He is dropped at the Bears' 32-yard line. And it is Singletary over there in pass coverage. And I guess if they thought that this is what he still had to develop, it was pass coverage, I think the Bears are giving more of an opportunity for him on passing downs.
They certainly are. We're going to take a look at the Bears' pass defense. Now watch the double coverage on the outside guys. Now watch the top of the screen. You can see the linebacker going back to the zone there on the wide receiver, and then the defensive back and the free man. So they had everybody back on pass defense. Makes it tough to complete it, but the Buccaneers did.
Makes a 3rd and a long 2 for Tampa Bay. They're in Bears territory on the march. Goldstein, quick release to the tight end Giles. First down to the Bears' 26-yard line. Nice play, a little look in, an old-fashioned play. Walt Williams making the tackle.
Excellent play by Goldstein, because the Bears put on a blitz. You'll see 25 and 55. A linebacker, Otis Wilson, number 55, coming through right there. He's picked up. Here comes the throw. Giles was alert that it was going to be a quicker pass than normally anticipated, and Walt Williams has to hang on to make the tackle. Good thinking by Goldstein.
They shift to the eye with Owens, the trailing back behind Wilder. They give us to Wilder, the lead back. He is tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Jim Osborne, number 68, making the ankle grab on him, and then Hampton and Harris getting in on the action. 99 and 90. So the ball remains at the 24-yard line, just inside the 25, 2nd and 9.
Now they have a 2nd and 9 situation. John McKay is very close to the calls that come in. Boyd Dowler obviously has a lot to do with the play calling. McKay okays just about everything. Let's see if he goes with a pass. Obviously, I think they have to.
Carter and House, the wide receivers. Owens moves into the slot left. Goldstein has time, has a man, and underthrows him. He was open. Owens out of the backfield was wide open. That was 6. Goldstein did not deliver the ball.
Okay, let's take a look at the second man. He goes to the outside. Right there, Owens, the running back, and he's in the triangle. He's between the three dark jerseys, and he's wide open, and Goldstein just underthrows him, and that's one thing, you know, you don't like to say, hey, Doug Williams could have hit him, because Doug Williams missed passes too, but he had a strong arm. He usually overthrow rather than underthrow.
Well, that was badly underthrown. There's no escaping that. Let's see if he can rebound from it. Third down. Now the play tougher and bigger for Jerry Goldstein. Gets the time again, delivers that one to Giles. Jimmy Giles blasts down to the goal line. Will they let him in or not? So far, no signal. He is stopped right at the goal line. Les Frazier and Gary Fensick made the tackle, while Goldstein zipped that one in right on target.
He certainly did, and it was number 25, Todd Bell, on the coverage. As you'll see, Goldstein looked for Giles. 88 bounces off of Todd Bell, breaks the tackle from Bell, and then goes up the field, puts his head down. Looked like he almost got in there. Finally, everybody else converges, and there's Fensick and Frazier on the tackle. They're down to the half-yard line, but remember, they were down to the one before and did not get the touchdown.
Three tight ends are in for Tampa Bay. They shift to the eye. Wilder the lead back. Owens behind him. Owens, touchdown. James Owens diving into the end zone. So Jerry Goldstein, very much to his credit, rebounded from missing what appeared to be a sure touchdown, delivering the pass to Giles and taking the Bucs into the end zone.
And this time you saw number 50, Singletary, come flying through again. But Owens did a good job of getting up and over the middle linebacker who tried to jam things up. There's 50, and he's hit, and Owens goes up and over. Nice dive, and the Buccaneers can tie it right now.
Bill Capice has the point after, and we have a tie football game as Jerry Goldstein went 6 for 7 on that drive of 61 yards and took the Bucs into the end zone, so that we have ourselves a tie football game with 8:16 to go here in the third quarter. And Bill Capice, a real pepper pot on that Bucs team, trying to fire them up, see if they can get the ball back and take the lead. We'll be back in a moment.
We are USA 1, taking charge with tough, easy-to-own transportation like Chevy Chevette. While Ford's 83 base Escort suggested retail price went up, the lowest price Chevy Chevette held the line. In fact, this two-door Chevette is priced over $600 less than Escort L two-door. And Chevette has millions more owner-driven miles behind it. Chevy Chevette, from America's sales leader.
Milwaukee Light.
Tastes as great as their name.
You know, it doesn't get any better than this.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports kicks off the college football season with the Texas Longhorns against the Auburn Tigers, plus other regional action next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Looking at Bill Capice about to kick it off, and I think some credit should go to the offensive line of the Bucs, with Gene Sanders playing still with a tender ankle for the injured Dave Revis and rookie Kelly Thomas. Those two tackles did a good job on that drive. This is Anthony Hutchison getting some room up the sideline for the Bears on the kickoff return to the 35-yard line of Chicago, giving them good field position for their first offensive possession.
And there's that scoring drive, 12 plays, 71 yards, time consumed, 6:44. So that was what you call a beautiful drive, and I'm sure it gave Jerry Goldstein a lot of confidence, because after the first half and after last week, you know, you begin to wonder about yourself, and he took him right down the field. He had that one bad pass, but he zipped that last one to Giles, didn't he?
You saw Jack Thompson with the headset on to the press box coaches, discussing things with Goldstein. They're getting along well in this team.
Oh, everybody's pulling.
What a good job defensively. They had all kinds of Bears out there in front of Walter Payton, but the Bucs just stripped it down, and it was the cornerback, Johnny Holt, with Big John Cannon supporting him, number 78, who forced a loss on the play, a flag down, however.
It's against Chicago.
There's Johnny Holt. Neil Colsey, his veteran teammate, lined up next to him at safety, said, well, you know, Holt isn't as big as Norris Thomas. We had a big secondary, but he said this young man is quicker than the rest of us, and he brings that dimension.
Number 84, decline a penalty. It's second down.
Now there you go. Not too often does a team decline a 10-yard penalty, but because the Bears lost about 2 yards, they would rather have them at 2nd and 12 than 1st and 20. So I think the logic's pretty good there.
The ball still at the 30-yard line. Bashnagel was the culprit on the holding call. Dan Neal is back in at center, number 52 for the Bears. In motion behind the ball, Bashnagel. They give it to Payton. Payton is shut down. Again, good job by the front of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, stripping through the blockers and nailing Payton behind the line. Leading the charge, Scott Brantley, linebacker number 52.
You hit it right, too, Tim. You said leading the charge. There must have been 7 Tampa Bay players in on that tackle. That's the way you have to hit Walter Payton.
Wayne Fonts, the defensive coordinator, following Tom Bass in that role. Bass, of course, got a lot of publicity when he was at Tampa, and he's now getting it and trying to rejuvenate the San Diego defense. And Fonts, obviously, is doing an outstanding job with this Buck defense and some young newcomers in it. McMahon has the time and finds Walter Payton. Payton shakes off one tackler, then slips, gets up quickly, dropped the ball. The ball is loose in Tampa territory. Let's see who's got it. Well, coming out of it is Thomas Morris, reserve defensive back, but was it dead? In whose possession? That's really the question.
Tampa Bay's possession.
Tampa Bay has been signaled and awarded the ball, and still a little pushing and shoving downfield, but now the tempers are cooled off somewhat. Walter Payton got away from Morris Thomas when he caught the ball, then he slipped in the open field. When he took the next hit, as you'll see here, he dropped the ball.
Now watch Payton, he's on the left. Now he'll come into the right of your screen. He fakes to the right and then comes back over the middle, and McMahon adjusts in the pocket and hits him. Now Payton's right out there all by himself, and you know, it's pretty tough to get him. Cedric Brown there missed the tackle, and then Payton gets up. Everybody is in on it, and I don't know, can't tell who stole that ball. But let me say, it wasn't Cedric Brown who missed the tackle.
No, it was Thomas Morris.
Yeah,
24,
it was Thomas Morris,
and
yeah.
34 Brown might have been the man who stripped the ball, Johnny. It looked on that replay like he might have done it. So it is Tampa Bay ball at their own 47-yard line with the score tied 10-10 here in the third period.
Los Angeles, California, first place.
Winner is Chablis number 3.
Sacramento, California, silver award.
Year after year, wine tastings are held across the country.
Chicago, Illinois, gold medal.
And year after year, one wine continues to appear at the top of the list.
Warwick, Rhode Island, first place.
The white wine judged best in tasting after tasting.
Washington, D.C., first place.
The Chablis Blanc of Ernest and Julio Gallo. From Ernest and Julio Gallo, all the best.
Chevy Tough is taking charge. Moisture and road salt are murder on a pickup. But Tough Chevy S10 comes with built-in corrosion-fighting zinc-coated steel to help guard against rust. While Ford Ranger uses about 93 square feet, Chevy S10 gives you almost 3 times more zinc-treated steel, about 277 square feet. For year-round protection, Chevy S10's got you covered with tough corrosion-fighting steel. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris, and it looks like it might have been number 22, Johnny, right there.
Yeah, Johnny Ray Smith stripped the ball. Cedric Brown hit him, and then you can see the scramble for the ball as everybody grabs for it down at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, hard to say who actually came up with it, but Johnny Ray Smith got the ball loose from Walter Payton. And so the Bucks have the ball with a tie score, 6:56 remaining third quarter. Goldstein at quarterback. They shift to the I formation. Carter left, House right. Short drop for Goldstein, and he goes to Carter, and that will be first down yardage if they mark it where he caught it. Leslie Frazier put the tackle on him, but Carter was right at the marker.
You know, I could see it in the muscle reflex that time. Frazier almost decided to take a chance on an interception, and he didn't. So they better be careful on that play because he was very close, and a defensive back, he has to have some courage to take chances, but they better watch out for Frazier. He's getting that urge, so he might be susceptible to a stop and go or out and up.
Third-year man from Alcorn State, been very steady since nailing down that cornerback spot for the Bears. First down, Tampa Bay. Goldstein using short drops and firing the ball quickly. A low diving catch for Kevin House, and got only about a yard on the play, if that. Otis Wilson and Mike Richardson were there to make sure he got no farther.
Jerry Goldstein, he went to school right down the road here at Northern Illinois University. And he's been a lot of places since then, hasn't he, Tim?
Yes, he has, including Orlando in a minor football league.
7 of his last 8 passes completed.
2nd and 9. Complete again. And it was James Owens out of the backfield, driven out by Todd Bell, number 25, after a gain of maybe 7 yards. They'll spot it at the 35-yard line of the Chicago Bears and bring up an interesting 3rd down play for the Bucks. 3rd and about 4 at the Chicago 35-yard line. Little tester here for the Buccaneers. Theo Bell, number 83, has brought the play in. They've been shuttling the plays in with the wide receivers from the offensive staff, and John McKay very much involved in all of those decisions. Bell left, House right. Goldstein swings it out. It's dropped by Owens. James Owens dropped the swing pass and looked like he had some room with Sean Farrell ahead of him to at least pick up the 1st down yardage.
It would have been a sure 1st down because 62 Farrell was right out front. It was set up beautifully. Here's Owens, there's Farrell. He would have thrown his block on 25 Todd Bell, and there's no telling how far James Owens would have gone. Tough break for Tampa Bay.
Green Bay fans, latest word in the 3rd period there. Pittsburgh leading 16-14. 30-yard field goal by Anderson of Pittsburgh. There's Jeff Fisher awaiting the punt by Frank Garcia. Garcia just gets it away again against the rush of Hampton this time. And it's going to be down by the Buccaneers inside the 10-yard line of Chicago. So Garcia does the job again as George Yarno is down there to dive on the ball, and they will spot it at the 8-yard line. 5:10 remaining, 3rd quarter. We have a 10-10 ball game here at Soldier Field on the shores of Lake Michigan.
We are USA 1. Taking charge by unleashing a Chevrolet the competition can't touch. Camaro. Flat outselling every other 2+2 sports coupe on the road today. And now Camaro is led by a new standard 5-speed 5-liter Z28. The hot-selling Chevy Camaro. It still leaves everything but its shadow behind. USA 1 is taking charge.
This is the place for the real taste of beer. Pabst is the place. There's just no doubt about it.
It's right here in this bottle. You can't find better than Pabst.
Pabst is the place. Your good friends all around you for the real taste of beer and all the good times you have here.
The thing is, Pabst doesn't change. It's always good.
For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place.
Next Saturday, see Boom Boom Mancini's WBA lightweight title defense against Orlando Romero, and lightweights Robin Blake and Melvin Paul will square off next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday.
Next week on CBS Sports Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, a lightweight boxing doubleheader. The champion of the WBA, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, defends against number 1 rated Orlando Romero, and then Robin Blake, one of the up-and-coming outstanding lightweights, against yet another excellent lightweight, Melvin Paul, who has lost only once, and that to Hector Camacho. It starts at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Should be an outstanding afternoon of boxing on CBS. First down for the Bears from their 8-yard line. 5:10 to go, 3rd period. 10-10 the score. Galt and Bashnagle are the wide receivers. Play action from the end zone. Quickly out to Suey. Suey drops the ball as he's hit from behind, and it is out of bounds off whom? It is Bears ball. And I believe that Van Horn might have been the man who got a hand on it for Chicago at the sideline after Suey took quite a rap from behind.
The Buccaneers put a blitz on there. As you can see, 59 Hawkins came through. They just threw the little swing pass out to Suey. Galt had cleared the zone down the field, and then he's carrying that ball rather loosely, and it's stripped loose. Looked like Scott Brantley was in there to kind of knock the ball loose. Tampa Bay touched it several times, but could not get possession before it went out of bounds, and Keith Van Horn kind of helped out. He came over there and kind of messed things up as far as Tampa Bay was concerned.
First down for the Bears from their own 21-yard line. Out of the eye, they shift to the pro set. Suey and Peyton running backs. Play action, rolling left. McMahon with Hawkins has him. Andy Hawkins, number 59, with the sack for Tampa Bay. Back to the 17-yard line. Second sack of the day for the Buccaneers.
They're starting to bring the linebackers a little bit more often now. Hawkins comes from the outside, and McMahon had a rollout that way, but he still couldn't get away from Hawkins. There's the fake of the handoff. He rolls kind of like a Q6. Here comes Hawkins, 59 from behind. McMahon cannot get away. Second sack of the day for Tampa Bay, and now the Bears are in a long passing situation. Second and about, what, 14?
14 to go. Out in the pro set, no motion, play action for McMahon. Trying to find a target downfield. Moorhead is open, he didn't see him. Now he goes for Galt. Galt ran over to make a great catch. He's dropped by Brown at the 27-yard line. Now maybe you're saying, why would he call that a great catch? Well, it wasn't what he did with his hands, it's what he did with his feet. He came back to the ball beautifully and effectively cut off two defenders who were in position to steal it.
Well, as McMahon is so good at rolling out, he gets out to the outside here, and there's nobody around him. Galt is coming from the other side of the field. He just leads him to that side. Cedric Brown couldn't adjust, 34, and Galt just runs himself into the ball game, made sure the grab, and the Bears are down to the 28-yard line. Now, Galt is coming from the top of your screen. You see 34, as Cedric Brown tried to adjust, but he couldn't, and Galt makes the grab.
55-yard gain for the Bears to the Tampa 28-yard line. Slot formation left. Saldi in motion. Peyton gets the block from Saldi and Suey and moves inside the 20-yard line. Saw that play back in the first half, and it will be close to a first down for Chicago.
Brought down by Cannon.
Brantley, Brown, and Cannon getting in on it for the Buccaneers. They mark it a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1.
Walter Payton is heading for a 200-yard offensive day again. He had 199 yards passing and receiving and running last week, and he's heading that direction right now.
Dennis McKinnon is wide to the right. On the wing, Payton now goes in motion. One setback, Suey. McMahon can't find an open man, and he is going to be dropped. Third sack for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it was Dave Stalls, activated just this week after holding out for a trade he didn't get. The North Carolina veteran opted to sign again with the Buccaneers, and he's into the action his first day.
Interesting play by the Bears. They had Payton in motion out to the side as we see the pressure by Tampa Bay is starting to get a little bit heavier on McMahon, and David Logan and Stalls in on the play, and pretty soon everybody. So the Bears have a third and about 4.5.
Nickel situation for the Bucs. Johnny Ray Smith is in. There's the fifth back, and Payton shakes off the tackle of Logan, but he cannot get away on the corner. John Cannon, number 78, trips him up. Good defensive work by the Buccaneers.
And Dave Logan, he's the one that got across, Tim. He's number 76, and you can see him right there to the left of the center. Nobody blocks him. He gets across, beats the interference, but Payton gets away from that. However, it disrupted the run enough, and John Cannon, 78, got the ankle tackle, and now Bob Thomas going for the field goal.
They're spotting it at the 27-yard line. A 37-yard attempt by Thomas, who has a 50-yarder already. Thomas, it is no good. It is no good. So Bob Thomas, who connected from 50, fails from 37. And so we have 1:18 to play here in the third period, and this game remains tied. The Buccaneers and the Bucs still looking for their first win.
Chevy Tough is taking charge. Are you tough enough to make it with the U.S. Army? Chevy trucks are. The Army contracted for 53,000 tough, full-size Chevy pickups and Blazers. These rugged four-wheel drives are regular production vehicles powered by the proven 6.2-liter diesel V8. Need a truck as tough as the U.S. Army's? Just sign up at your Chevy dealers today. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
Some things speak for themselves.
Your basic defensive struggle, 10-10, 1:18 to go third quarter. Looking elsewhere in the NFL, the Giants lead Atlanta 10-6 in the third period. The Mick Luckhurst field goal bringing Atlanta closer. James Owens for the Buccaneers picks up about 2, maybe 3 up the middle.
Al Harrison on the tackle, number 90 for the Bears, who are running basically with a 4-man front and 3 linebackers more than they usually do in games, in the course of a game.
Pittsburgh and Green Bay, let's see what that one has. 23-14, the Steelers in the fourth quarter now, leading the pack at Green Bay. And Buffalo in front of Cincinnati, 10-3. Joe Ferguson to Butler, a 14-yard pass, giving Buffalo the lead in the third period. All right, it is 2nd and 6 for the Bucs, and Giles away from Otis Wilson has first down yardage out to the 34, maybe the 35-yard line for Tampa Bay. And this short passing attack, short drops and quick release by Goldstein, starting to move the ball consistently for Tampa Bay.
And a linebacker has to cover Giles, 55, Otis Wilson out there on the chase. No safety on him, just the linebackers. And Jimmy Giles is becoming a force in this game. He's starting to pile up the yardage, and the Buccaneers finally seem to be getting a rhythm going in their passing game.
Goldstein is 9 of 11 this first half. This second half, pardon me, after a not impressive first down. Owens off tackle to the right side. A flag is down as Owens picked up about 7 yards on first down. Let's see what the call is.
It's going to be against Tampa Bay, I believe. It looked like it happened somewhere there in the line, pulling out the holding call or something along that order, and it is. So that's a crucial penalty. The Buccaneers are getting another drive established. The Buccaneers had 10 penalties last week. They had fumbles and penalties and interceptions and sacks and everything offensively. Even though they haven't burned up the world today, at least there is now improvement over last week.
Holding offense, number 60.
Number 60 is Randy Grimes, the rookie center from Baylor, getting some playing time and getting the penalty. And that is the 4th penalty assessed against Tampa Bay this afternoon. Randy Grimes, the number 1 choice of the Buccaneers this year. First down, they move Carver into the slot right. Swing it out for a screen pass to Carver, and Carver is backed up after a gain of about 2. Good defensive work. Cabral over there, Fensick, Otis Wilson all getting in on it. Good reaction to the ball by the Bears defensively. Time winding down here in the third quarter.
You know, this is a big sports day in the city of Chicago. Today's attendance 58,000 here at Soldier Field for the Bears and the Bucs. The Cubs and the Sox are both home, and it doesn't happen very often. The Chicago Bears, Chicago White Sox, and Chicago Cubs all playing on the same day in Chicago.
Well, we're not sure about the ball scores, but the score here is tied at 10. That's the end of the third quarter. The Bears 10, the Bucs 10. We now pause for a word from your local station.
On Falcon Crest, which of these men or women has been brutally murdered, and which will be forced into a desperate fight for life? Friday, September 30th, the secret will be revealed.
This is CBS.